there'll be a drop or a significant drop that comes along? Have we moved past that because of the regulatory changes that have taken place?
I think it'll remain volatile because it's a 24/7, 365 global asset. You can panic sell it on Saturday night. You can enthusiastically buy it on Sunday morning. That's a feature. That's not a bug.
Yeah, you've lived through some of the swings, but do you think we won't see the downturns like we've seen in the past just because of the changes we've seen?
I think it's going to surge through the roof, and then it's going to surge to 180 and crash to 140, and people will be freaking out about it again. But let me make this one analogy. Volatility is like fire, and some people run away from the fire, but Henry Ford put the fire into a carriage via an engine, created an entire industry, and he gave humanity wings.
Can we talk about, so I've been leading up to for me and for everybody to understand your tweet just from, I think, in the last hour. So what did you do last week with the Treasury operations? You were able to generate a Bitcoin yield of 2.55%, or over almost 10,000 Bitcoin to shareholders using an arbitrage. Can you explain? Will I be able to understand this if you explain this?
We sold $1.5 billion worth of stock, backed by $500 million worth of Bitcoin. We bought back $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. We captured nearly $1 billion gain in the arbitrage. That we can do with equity day by day. When we do it with debt, we issue $3 billion of debt that's backed by $600 million of Bitcoin that comes due in 5 years. We pay 0% interest. We buy $3 billion of Bitcoin. We capture the $2.4 billion in the arbitrage gain up front. But then over the course of the 5 years, we double or we quadruple the investment because we're buying an asset which is appreciating faster than the S&P.
What you told me was it's 55% premium over conversion, but a zero coupon. Is that the same?
That was a zero coupon 55. And you can do that because Bitcoin is high vol, and the companies that have Bitcoin on their balance sheet have even higher volatility. So Mara is a great example. 2 weeks ago, they did $1 billion convert, zero coupon, to buy Bitcoin. This week, they're back in the market doing another $1 billion convert, zero coupon, to buy Bitcoin. You can rinse and repeat that frequently.
Tell me what you think, or told Microsoft that they should do, and what are the chances that happen?
Microsoft is buying its own stock back, it's buying bonds, it's dividending out cash flows. If they simply swept their existing cash into Bitcoin, it probably adds $1 trillion to the market cap and $150 to the share price. If they converted the dividend into Bitcoin, adds another $150 to the share price, another $1 trillion to the market cap. If they replace the buybacks with Bitcoin, instead of surrendering the capital, they invest the capital, adds another $1 trillion and $150 to the share price. If they just take a little bit of leverage, they basically take 10% leverage on a huge stack of Bitcoin, they add another $1 trillion. So what I'm saying is, instead of surrendering the capital and then leveraging up the company, right now Microsoft trades at 20 times forward expectations. So or I'll say it, 95% of the enterprise value of Microsoft is based on expectations, is the best way to say it, right? And that means it's very asset poor, it's expectation rich. Why don't you actually buy assets, and instead of being 95% on expectations, be 50% on expectations, de-risk the company, grow the enterprise value, and feed the digital economy of the future.
What was the response?
The shareholder meeting is December 10th. We'll find out.
What do you expect? Glazed eyes?
I don't have any illusions that mega corporations are going to immediately embrace Bitcoin. But what I do think is it's going to become part of the conversation. And there are about 120 companies that are public that are starting to hold Bitcoin right now. There are a lot of Bitcoin standard companies like Mara, like Saylor, like Metaplanet, like Rumble is getting into the business. And as they start to buy Bitcoin and issue fixed income securities and equity securities, you're going to see demand increase.
So what inning are we in, you think?
Sorry?
What inning? It feels like we're in like the second inning of all, or even maybe not even.
Yeah, I think we get
warm-up?
into the third inning when we cross $100,000.
That's the third
Right
inning.
now, we're still early. I think that there's
It's not a softball
extraordinary
game.
opportunity.
It might be a twilight doubleheader even. It might be, or maybe 13 or 14 innings. Michael, thank you. I'm going to go home and think some more. I think on this after you come in, and then my head starts hurting, and then I give up. But
Thank you, Joe.
you're welcome. I like the tie. Thanks.